the Millcreek Government Channel, and I'm Judy Zelina. When we think of the Humane Society, we immediately think of a place where we can go to adopt a pet or to drop off a lost animal. Although they do provide these services, there is so much more to our local Humane Society. For over 120 years, they have served as a safety net for relinquished, stray, and abandoned animals, and ensure that each animal is treated with compassion and given the best quality of care. The organization rescues and cares for numerous animals every year through their animal rescue team's work and other hands-on animal care services. Joining us on the program today, we have the Executive Director of the Humane Society, Nicole Baywell. Nicole, thanks so much for being on the program again today.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm always thrilled to get a phone call from you and to share with our community the great work we're doing.
Well, you do great work, and I'm going to tell you something. You have so many new things in the work. I was teasing her. I said, Nicole, really, I looked at some things you want to talk about. All I have to do is say to you, what's new, and I can just sit back.
It's true.
It is.
It's true.
The one thing I do want to talk about, which I thought was interesting, you have a new logo that comes with a new mission.
Absolutely.
Tell us about that.
So obviously you had mentioned that we've been here for over 120 years, which is absolutely fantastic, but I can't take credit for that 120 years very clearly. So I started about 3.5 years ago, and when I sat down with my staff and my board of directors, we really felt as though we were going in different directions, and we were creating different programming to educate the community and to in fact help our pets. So we said, you know what, it's time for a rebrand. So we sat down with our marketing team, and Jody Farrell, who also owns Tungsten Creative, is on my board of directors. So she was a huge asset in this kind of, thought process. And our biggest focus is that we rescue, we rehabilitate, and we rehome animals. But in that, the rehabilitation part is huge for our organization, and more importantly, for us to stress to the community that we aren't here for just puppies and kittens. We help rehabilitate lots of animals. We've had pigs come into the shelter. We have abandoned rats right now. So we do a lot of work on not just the emotional end of the animal, but the physical end. So we have a lot of amputations, we have specialty surgeries, we do acupuncture, we send animals out for specialty things. So we really focus on rehabilitating the whole animal and then placing them in their next chapter in life. And we just kind of downsized that mission and focused on that because a lot of pets that come into the shelter are on their maybe third or fourth home. 90% of the pets that come into the shelter have had other homes prior, so they might be very anxious animals because they're unsure of where they're going to be in the next year. They could be scared because they were in abusive situations. And then there's that very small percentage that are actually born at the shelter, and they have that fresh start, but our job is to make sure that we're finding great homes for them.
But there's so much more, involved than just, okay, here's a pet, and here's a home.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about all the different new programs and aspects. You've got something new, and it's called a Shelter to Service program.
Yeah.
That tell our viewers about that.
So Shelter to Service is a fantastic program, and it's really geared to connect local veterans, so within 800 square miles of Erie County, to a dog that has been trained to be a certified service dog. So we're not even talking about an emotional support dog because that is very different. We have a certified pet behaviorist and trainer on staff. It took him about 2.5 years to get all of his certifications, but he's a full-time employee with the shelter. And we sat down and wanted to identify a really specific need in our community. And what we were seeing were there are a lot of veterans here in the Erie community that could really benefit from services of having that service dog, from having that dog be able to work with them, live their life with them, and help them get out in the community and feel like they are part of the community, because we see a lot of veterans suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, different traumatic brain injuries. So it was a program that was created by myself and our trainer. And it is great. It's in its first year. We've piloted it. We've had a lot of support from different Erie insurance agents, different schools, people throughout the community that see our dog that is currently being trained. His name is Scout, so I suggest people check him out. But he is going to be awarded at our Rock and Rescue charity concert on August 10th. And he will go home with his veteran that night. And this veteran is local. They live here in Erie. So all the money raised is completely going to a grassroots initiative. It's not being raised for a dog to be trained out of Pittsburgh. It's being raised for a dog to be trained right here in our community and then adopted out and homed to a local veteran.
I think that's important for the viewers to know.
Yeah, I think it's really huge because you see a lot of people, a lot of veterans too, they struggle. They're applying to get a service dog and they don't know that they can come right here to your local Erie Humane Society. So we're helping them with that, and we're partnering with the Veterans Miracle Center with that initiative.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, so it's another collaboration.
What a great idea. Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
It's great. We've gotten a lot of support, and Scout, our service dog right now, is doing wonderfully. He's just about to take a mock canine good citizen test because he cannot officially take it until he's 1.
Okay.
He'll be 1 in September, but he's already hitting all of his benchmarks. And we are already identifying 2 new puppies to raise and train to be service dogs.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Fantastic. I love that program.
Thank you.
I love that. Great idea.
Thank you.
You also have started a hospice dog program.
Yes.
What is involved with that?
So, unfortunately, anyone that's in the shelter industry, we obviously know that we have a lot of poor babies that come into us. And when I say babies, I don't mean itty bitties.
Right.
I mean pets.
They're all our babies.
Yeah, they're all our babies, and I'll refer to them as babies and angels, and that's just my language for them. But we'll see a lot of them, especially seniors that come in that have lumps and bumps, and they might not have much longer to stay with us.
Okay.
And we are focused as the Erie Humane Society. We're a no-kill shelter, and we focus on quality of life. So we are very understanding that there could be a pet that comes into us that maybe has 6 months, but it can be a really great 6 months. So our responsibility is we will do initial x-rays and blood work and kind of see where we're at the quality of life.
All right. Okay.
And then we will work on placing them in a home that's going to help give them, their best life as they get towards the end. And then if there's any decisions that need to be made, maybe the pet might be painful, we're happy to plan, to do any kind of private cremation. If we have to make a decision for a euthanasia, because maybe that pet is just not can't walk, is just incontinent, things of that nature.
Right.
We are happy to work with the family, but we identify a lot of pets that have a lot of life left in them. They might feel like they have a lot of life left in them, but they might have cancer or something that could significantly maybe take away from their length of time. So we recently placed a dog named Doc into a home who had maybe anywhere from 6 months to a year. He had a malignant tumor that we did remove. He has a hyperthyroid condition, chronic skin condition, and the veterinarians are just not hopeful for him having a very extended life, but he would never know it. Mm-hmm. And so we focus on animals like that we could give the best life to, and it's not good for them to stay in the shelter. So we work with the families. We do waive adoption fees for hospice animals, but we communicate with them and let them know what the time span looks like and what their needs are, and if they can meet the needs and they do the home visits, we're happy to place them and make sure that they live out their days happy.
You mentioned Doc. I understand Doc has become quite the social media phenomenon, hasn't he?
Doc is like a celebrity. So we posted we kicked off our hospice program, and we posted to find Doc, a hospice family, understanding that they obviously would have to do a home visit and all of those things. And he hit news in DC, in Pittsburgh, and in Buffalo. And I had people emailing me from out of state, and I'm going, oh my gosh.
And how many views did you have?
126,000 views.
Wow.
So I mean,
he is a celeb.
Yeah, he's a celeb and he's adorable. And the power of social media is huge. I mean, I wish I had social media back when I was in high school, but that tool, if you use it the right way, can just really make great things happen.
Right. There's a lot of positives with social media.
Absolutely. And our marketing manager at the shelter is fantastic, so she really knows what she's doing.
Well, that's good. Yeah. And so are my granddaughters.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
This was interesting. You partner with high shelters in the South to rescue pets at risk of being euthanized.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
So, unfortunately, the way that we see some shelters working in the South is very different than some of the shelters here in Western Pennsylvania. A lot of them are animal control, where they have so many animals and they only have so many kennels, and they give them time limits. And we have identified North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina, and Tennessee, as well as Alabama, where there are a lot of pets that are in need of homes because maybe they're meeting that time limit where they might only have 7 days, 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then the shelters start putting them on, and I hate to say this, on what they call youth lists, and they're going to euthanize these pets. And so I'm on several rescue sites where I'm connected to different people that identify these animals and ask us if we have space to take them. And I'm so proud of my staff because our adoption numbers, we average over 100 adoptions a month, which is absolutely fantastic. So when we are at that point where we can rescue animals because we have the availability here, I reach out to those shelters and say, give me 13, or whatever that might be. In the last 3 months, we've rescued over 64 dogs from a shelter in Alabama. And I'm thrilled because
congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
So we're able to make really great things happen. And of course, we're very responsible. So we're always making sure that we work with the shelters we get their health certificates. Everybody's cleared to travel because that's a requirement.
Okay.
But we are helping other organizations do really great things by making sure we're saving lives and we're finding them amazing homes because they wouldn't have found them otherwise.
Another new thing you have is the pet wellness clinic. You know what? You would think I haven't talked to you for 10 years
I know.
with everything that you have.
I was here 2.5 years ago, and this is all new since then.
I
so
know.
it's crazy.
Plus other things that have been implemented.
Right.
Society Pet Wellness Clinic.
Yeah.
And Training Club.
Yeah. So the clinic opened in January of 2017, and that clinic serves, and I love to tell the community this, it's an affordable pet wellness clinic. Anyone can use it. You don't have to have a certain income. You can use it with your pets. It's not a full hospital. So it's just vaccinations and it's spay neuter, okay?
All right.
And it's at a very affordable rate. It's almost half of what you would pay at a private vet hospital. It doesn't mean that we don't have reputable vets. We actually partner with Glenwood Vets. It's to ensure that we're maintaining our mission and that we are making sure that all pets in the community are being able to be vaccinated. People could come down in hard times and maybe not be able to afford that $200 vet bill.
Right.
And they can come to our clinic. And if you have do you have any pets in your home?
No, I do not.
Oh my gosh, you need to come to the shelter. I'll give you 5 cats. And no, I'm kidding. So
no, she's not kidding.
I'm not. But say you had a large dog and you needed to get your dog vaccinated. You could come to our clinic and you could get a whole adult package with the rabies, leptoparvo, bordetella, just all of those basic vaccinations and pay $65. Typically, you're looking at paying anywhere from like $85 to maybe $150 at a vet clinic. So we make sure that our costs are affordable for community members, especially if you have a pet or you have multiple pets and you need to get them all vaccinated because we want to ensure that they're healthy. So anyone can use the clinic, they can call us, but we also offer training services as well. So that's something that's also very affordable. So say you adopted an unruly puppy. And you're like, that puppy needs...
Of course, that is
right?
what I would adopt.
Right,
an unruly puppy. I can tell you right now.
And that puppy needs trained. And so if you adopted from us, you would get to pay, it'd be $100, and you would get a 7-week session. Usually 6-week sessions are what people typically do, and that's about $125 to $175.
All right.
But an adopter from the Erie Humane Society would pay $100.
Okay.
And anybody from the general public, if they've adopted or purchased a pet from somewhere, it would be $125 for a 7-week session, and then that includes a graduation as well, which is a ceremony that we do. But you get to do the training class with our trainer, and we do offer 3 different classes. We do puppy basics, life skills, and then advanced, which is off-leash training and such. So we're offering some really great programs, and it's not just to help shelter pets, it's to help our community, making sure that they love and enjoy their pets.
And it's so important and that you're making this affordable.
Yeah.
Because there are pet owners out there, and we do know that the cost of care for a pet can start adding up.
It can add up, and we have amazing...
And you don't want them to cut corners on things that the pets absolutely need.
And we have amazing veterinarians in the community. We have amazing pet hospitals, but just the basics, if it's something where they're struggling in different areas and they're like, you know what, I just need to get the vaccine, call us up. We're so happy to help you. And if it's anything that is specialty care, we're happy to refer you to the vets that we work with. And we do partner with Northeast Animal Hospital with Dr. Daryl Ramsdale, who's amazing. And then we partner with Glenwood Pet Hospital, and Dr. Pierce and Dr. Jewell and Dr. Scott and Dr. Weaver are fantastic.
You also have a new kids program.
Yes. Everything's new.
Well, we're going to talk about some older, some basic things too, but I do want people to know these wonderful things that Nicole and her staff have
Yeah.
implemented. What do you have for kids now? Because we can't forget the little ones.
So that's new, but not so new. It's our rescue day camp.
Okay.
And we kicked it off last year. We piloted it, and it was in July. And it's 3 days of camp from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you get children, so ages, it's kindergarten age through like freshman year in high school. And we divide them up into different age groups. And they come in and they get to do all things shelter. So they become sworn-in cruelty officers. They learn what our cruelty officers do. They get a presentation with a veterinarian. The older kids will learn how to clean like cat kennels and what it requires for us to open and work in a shelter industry. The younger ones are learning different projects about behavior, so they're learning how to appropriately pet a dog and different signals that maybe a dog or cat would make if they're in stressful situations. But they're learning how to work with animals, and they're learning what we do and how we take in animals and how they get adopted out, which I think is really important to educate our youth in the community.
Well, that is important, but also what's important is you're going to have an area there for birthday parties.
Yes.
So, I was so excited to hear that.
I know, and it's actually not just kids' birthday parties, it's dog birthday
That's
parties.
right.
So we already do kid birthday parties in our education room.
Right.
But the training facility I was telling you about is going to be there's going to be a fenced-in yard area. Well, we have the ability to rent out that space to host if somebody's wanting to have a birthday party for their dog. And I think that's huge because a lot of people, me included, we have birthday parties for our little fur babies. And sometimes it's nice because we have a dog park in the back and it has agility equipment. So you could say, you know what? Scrappy's gonna have a birthday party. I'm gonna host it right in the back of the Humane Society. I'm gonna rent the space out, and then we're all gonna go down to the dog park and they can romp around and play together. So it just works out because it's a safe location, and they can feel like they're taking their pets on an outing.
And everybody has fun.
And everybody has fun. It's a win-win.
Nicole, I want to ask you, okay, say for instance I adopt a pet, I purchase one.
Yep.
Tell our viewers, what are, like, say, the top 2 most important things I should do as a new pet owner?
Absolutely make sure, as a new pet owner, the 2 things I would say if you adopted from the shelter specifically is we microchip all of our pets.
Okay.
But I think the biggest thing is a lot of people get home and they forget to just to basically register that pet in your name. So sometimes they'll forget and the pet's registered in the name of the shelter. Luckily, if it got loose, it comes back to the shelter. But it's important because say you're in Millcreek and Tim Stevenson with animal enforcement picks up, we'll say Scrappy.
Okay.
And Scrappy's not registered to Judy, to his mom, so he's not going to come directly home to you. He's going to come to the shelter and maybe stay a night there. So I think it's really important to make sure that you re-register and make sure that pet's in your name. But more importantly, always take your pet for a wellness exam after you adopt, because we do the basics. We check their we check to make sure that they're healthy and that they're clean and that their nails are trimmed and their ears are trimmed. But sometimes people, especially if it's an older animal, they will wait and they don't take them. And there might be something like maybe they have a little bit of a cold or something. We do our best to make sure that they're healthy. But we always suggest take them for a 10-day wellness exam just to make sure that everything's covered and you don't have any questions for us. Because I just think that's important, especially because you are potentially adopting a pet that has maybe had another home prior. And we just want you to make sure that you're being a responsible pet owner as well.
You have, you talked just a little bit, you mentioned your cruelty division.
Yes.
What is involved with that? What exactly do they do?
Oh my gosh, they are saints. They see some really tough situations.
I couldn't even imagine.
So
Nicole.
my cruelty officers, one of them has like 16 years experience, and then the other one is going on like his 3rd year, and he's also fantastic. So Brian Carroll and Lisa Stiles are my cruelty officers, and they are sworn in animal law enforcement officers. So they adhere to all of the laws that pertain to animals. So what their role is to protect the animals. Animal enforcement is to protect the people, and you'll see them in the city and then with Millcreek Police. Their role is to ensure that people, if they call in a crime of animal cruelty, so say it's a pet's been abandoned, they retrieve that pet, they make sure that that pet is in our care and that we're giving it food, water, shelter. They make sure if they get a call that a pet, if it's tied out on a long tie out, that it isn't sitting out in freezing cold weather, that it does have a shelter, it does have food, it does have water that it can reach. And in really unfortunate situations, we do warrant and we do take animals out of really abusive situations, or because of exigent circumstances, we can just take them. So, so we do see a lot of abuse cases. We did try a case for dog fighting a couple years ago, which was in Erie, and it was really intense and it was really sad because unfortunately, crimes of animal cruelty happen all the time. I mean, we recently had a case where we have, unfortunately, children throwing cats at walls, and that's why, for me, as the director, education is so important, and that we're educating our youth, because those things shouldn't be happening. But on the cruelties end, they're always educating, and in the event that they're trying to educate and people aren't complying, because we do give people opportunities. If somebody goes to your house and they say Scrappy's nails are really long, maybe they're curled under, you need to take them to the vet, you need to have their nails trimmed. And then we check back, and I'm giving you a very, very simple scenario. Right. And then we check back, and she still didn't take them. And then we check back again, and Scrappy looks worse. Scrappy has a skin condition. That's where we say we're not giving you any more warnings. We're going to either give you the option to sign over, or we're going to remove the animal. Okay. So we have all kinds of different circumstances.
And then there's a lot of times, like you said, they are removed from the home, and then they come to you, and this is where you nurture them. Yes. You get them healthy.
Yes, and that's where that rehabilitation is so important.
And adopted, yes.
And we do have pets that will be with us for 1 or 2 years. Okay. And we try to place them in foster. Sometimes the foster doesn't work, but that's where our trainer works with them. That's where staff, we work with them, and we get them to the point where they're ready to find that family, and that family will come. Sometimes it just takes longer than others.
You have some fun things planned this year, don't you?
Oh, we always have fun things, but this year's like our really fun year.
Every year's a really fun year.
It is. We have our Fiesta event on June 14th, which is a Friday, and it's the second year we're doing it. It was sold out last year, which was so exciting. But the best thing about the Fiesta event, it's tacos, tequila, margarita, Corona. You can bring your pets, and it's at the Bayfront Marriott. And
is it?
Yeah, and people, we had probably close to 200 people last year. And you bring your pets on leash, it's totally welcome. We have live music, we have really great raffle, and people get to know other people, and they bring their pets and they hang out and they enjoy tacos, and they probably sneak their animals some tacos. And it's just a great fundraiser, and we're hoping the weather's nice.
Okay. What about your concerts?
Our concert's in its second year too. We do a biannual. And it's our Rock and Rescue charity concert. And this year, all proceeds benefit our Shelter to Service program to help train Scout, our service dog that's being awarded. And the headliner is Artemis Pyle of Leonard Skinner. Okay. So it's going to be some really great Southern rock music. And the opening band is actually a local band that is competing in our Battle of the Bands competition.
Oh my gosh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
You've always got fun things mixed in.
Too much. We have so much going on.
Nicole, our time here is at the end, but I'll tell you, I could just talk with you for...
Thank you.
Just go on and on. So you're going to have to come on the show again.
You guys can come to us.
We were talking about that. We're looking to do an on location and actually give a tour of the Humane Society and be right up front and personal.
I would love to do that, and I think you guys can meet so many of our fur babies.
Okay. Nicole, thank you so much for being on the program.
Absolutely.
It was a pleasure, and continue the good work.
Thank you.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you for having me.
Viewers, if you have any questions, give them a call. If you want to adopt, if you want to volunteer, there's always a need for volunteers and for fosters. Everybody's welcome in the Humane Society. Thank you for tuning into the Millcreek Government Channel. Till next time, have a wonderful day.